Hello, my name is Maciej and I'm a person affected by male infertility. My journey with infertility started 2 years into my marriage with my wife Marta. We were trying to conceive spontaneously and it took some time with no effect, and we were happy enough, or lucky enough, that we had a colleague of my wife at her work who was already battling infertility, and she referred us to the ART clinic immediately. So we started treatment early. At first I was reluctant to have any treatment, any diagnosis, so my wife in fact started alone. And her tests came back unremarkable, completely standard results. There was no medical indication of possible problems with fertility. And then her doctor insisted on testing me. I took a simple semenogram as a first shot. And then I remember opening the envelope that I received with the results and facing a total disaster. It turned out that I have oligospermia with less than 4 million sperms per milliliter, mostly of poor quality, and there is practically no possibility for us to conceive spontaneously. It was shocking at first, and I went into full denial. I thought we are not ever meant to have kids, that perhaps I don't even want to have kids anymore. And our relationship with my wife went into a full-blown crisis. We quarreled a lot, we accused each other of wrongdoings, but finally I felt that I'm happy in my relationship and I don't want to lose it. So we returned to the clinic and we tried to convince our doctor that maybe there is something that he can magically cure inside us, because we were simply not ready for an IVF cycle just yet. And then he found that my hormone levels are a bit too high, the estrogen levels specifically, and I remember taking anti-estrogen therapy, tamoxifen, for several months in vain hope that when I discontinue it abruptly, my testosterone levels will spike and I will feel to myself like a normal man. And well, it was a surprise, because soon afterwards my wife missed her period, but we were so focused on failure that she did her test 3 weeks afterwards, and it came back positive. So we were happy. We were finally happy, but it didn't last long, because in the 12th week of gestation we learned the diagnosis of fetal death. And a spontaneous abortion never came, so my wife had to go to the hospital to have an induced abortion. And when she left, she looked terrible. She was miserable, she looked like a pale shadow of herself. So I thought I should be strong now for both of us, support her and try to carry us on to whatever happens. And I felt like that for 2 months, but then I started crying. Suddenly I started crying and finally feeling all the missed possibilities that we just now lost. So it took us again some months to return to the ART clinic and try again. And then it was another medical diagnosis that was wrong with me and okay for my wife, because they made us to do karyotype, and my wife turned out to be just a standard 46XX woman, but I was 46XA man with a chromosome translocation from chromosome 4 to 14. So there was a large chance that if we ever try to conceive spontaneously, it will turn out like the first time with a miscarriage due to a non-viable embryo. So it was then that after a long discussion we decided to use the donor sperm to try our pregnancy. And then we went through several IUIs, finally an IVF. We came back with only 2 viable embryos after the first procedure, and both were implanted. And at first, we were so happy because the doctor confirmed that there is a single embryo firmly implanted, and we have our pregnancy. But 3 weeks later, on a follow-up, he said, wait, there is another one. There was another embryo hiding in the background. So now we are parents of twin children, a boy and a girl, born through an IVF with a sperm coming from an anonymous donors. Although personally I hate this anonymity, but I can do anything with it. Thank you.